started a sentence with me. He said, we were watching football on Thursday.
I know, he did the same thing to me. He did this. Is this like Earth 2?
I said, what?
He came back and started telling me about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
I know.
And you were watching the Lions game on Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
what happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So, because I'm not a recluse anymore.
So if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually kind of a sports show? It's syndicated.
Well, I don't.
Statewide.
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. Yeah. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station. I had a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who are from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently. Really? Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. Like, I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
Five, 3, 1.
Red 57, Red 57, hot, hot.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie hits a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is
is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sports Line. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe, all in the studio. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, fellas.
How's everyone?
Well,
great.
Post Kansas State, we're going to get into that here quickly because coming up, we're scheduled to be joined by J.J. Weatherholt, the former Mountaineer. Dare we say the greatest hitter in WVU history after his 450 season?
Not much of an argument, I don't think.
Yeah. So
Jed.
Yeah, Jed's there. Jed did it. That's the thing. Jed did it in the big leagues for 10 years. So,
but who knows? We'll see what JJ puts together.
Right.
You think he's got a real shot of not only making a big league club, but starting this year for the Cardinals.
Well, we're already out of the gate. 25 seconds in, we got a debate over the all-time greatest.
Greatest Mountaineer hitter. Anyway, JJ is going to join us here a little bit later on. So let's first get into this win over Kansas State, and it was brutal early. It was ugly, but West Virginia was doing such a fabulous job on P.J. Haggerty. If he goes off in the first half, you're probably out of it. But he didn't score. So West Virginia was in it long enough to kind of out-tough them, just make enough plays in the second half to win the game.
Really gutty effort is what it was, guys. And to use the baseball analogy with JJ coming up, when you can win when you don't have your fastball, those are wins you cherish. And Ross said it afterwards. I mean, he was thrilled with the win, and that wasn't like fake hyperbole that he was excited. You win one of those games, and what was just a gross night, right? The weather was bad. The roads were bad. You got that squall that came through. It kept the crowd suppressed from what it would have been. And I give the credit to the people that made it there. They did a nice job of making noise for who was there. But that's nowhere near what a normal Mountaineer crowd looks like. You're coming back off a long Arizona trip, and you just found a way after just battling through the first half. You couldn't get it going, but your defense was good enough that kept you in it. And the job that Jasper Floyd in particular did on Haggerty, one of the best scorers in the country, to make him have one of his most inefficient nights of the year, that was the difference in the game. If you're looking for an overarching story, that particular matchup was outstanding. And there's a lot of other performances to talk about that we will, but that's a great win for this team, that one you had to have to stay undefeated at home.
And you quoted Ross Hodge a couple of times there, and at least paraphrase some of the stuff that he said, but he did call it gross in many fashions. But then the one I did find interesting, he said it was his favorite win of the year, and because you didn't have your good stuff, but you still found a way to get to a victory.
Well, that's growth. I mean, that's a stage of growth.
No question. No question. And I think that's what you've seen from this team over time. And are there going to be losses? Yes, there was. There was one at Arizona, no question. But this team now is finding ways to win those games that you didn't early in the season. The Clemson, the Xavier, and the Ohio State, to name a couple, that you just didn't know how to close at that point. And this team is getting better at that, at making winning plays down the stretch. And this one even more. I mean, you controlled the game for a lot of it once you took the lead. But then when they grabbed that 4-point lead with 4 minutes to go there, guys, that 4-point lead felt like it was 14, the way that game was going, with both teams struggling to score at times. And the fact that you were able to overcome that and still get the win, I think fantastic and a big boost to this team.
And the patience has paid off with Trace and Eagles' staff. And I know you've preached it all along, but the fact that he almost comes up with a double-double on a night where he didn't shoot it particularly well, but obviously the offensive rebounds, not just by him, but there were several key offensive rebounds in the second half. But the point on Eagles' staff is you see his all-around game now and all of the different areas that he contributes.
You're right. I have preached it, Kyle, because I've watched it, right? I've watched it since June and watched this guy grow. And what he's able to do, defense and rebounding, and I've been saying this for months, you knew the offense would come. He's a skilled basketball player, and you knew the offense would come. It started to. 5 of 7 games in Big 12 play, he's in double figures, and he's a legitimate threat, whether he's scoring or whether he's drawing attention from the defense to open everything else up. But you're right when you say about the rebounding. A season-high 9 rebounds yesterday to lead the team number 1. 3 offensive rebounds, including that huge one late. And here's the important part of that. 7 points off those 3 offensive rebounds for him. So he scored every single time, a 2, and the traditional 3 off that offensive rebound to close that game. I thought he was outstanding, and then also hit the biggest three of the game on that pass out from Brendan Lauriant from the opposite box when he was wide open. So Trey continues to get better and better. Just wish, Greg, I know nobody, there shouldn't be eligibility rules anymore. Wish you could have Trey for another year. I take a lot of these guys for another year, but he's a kid that still has his best basketball ahead of him, and he's really starting to play.
Yeah, you're right. And the rebounding by him was certainly key. But I thought the offensive rebounding in all, the second half, West Virginia had one offensive rebound in the first half and ended up with 10. So 9 in the second half. All that led to a 15-4 advantage for WVU in second chance points. Obviously, when you win a close game and you lead somebody by 11 in one category, that's huge.
It was one that was, I talked about it at halftime. It was disappointing that you didn't have more production on that because this Kansas State team came in dead last in the Big 12 in defensive rebounding. So I thought that was an area West Virginia could exploit. They weren't able to in the first half. And listen, you had a huge size advantage. When Buka went out for them, the 7-2 player, that was a team that's biggest player was 6'7". You should have eaten them up on the glass. And in the second half, you finally did. And Greg, I think that was the difference in getting that win, those plus 11 points off second chance points. I agree.
And Kansas State, I mean, these are the breaks. They come in here, they're banged up. You lose 2 starters, and I think obviously that affected. They played a total of 7 guys. One guy only played 15 minutes. So that had an impact on them in the second half.
I don't think there's any question. I've said this a bunch, that the 6'9" McGriff being out of there changes that, where we just talk about offensive rebounding. His ability, McGriff's, to score inside is a difference maker. Now, they play the same way. They don't change anything because it's the same guys that played. They just played a few more minutes. But, yeah, I think that was a factor. But you know what? Guess who else was injured all fall? West Virginia, nobody apologized.
Nobody
you didn't
feels
give any
sorry for you.
footnotes. You didn't put any asterisks by it. So, Kansas State, I'm sorry. If that affected you, so be it. We'll take the win and move on.
Huge win. Now you move on to Baylor. Another game that is critical for the overall health or postseason opportunities for this club.
And again, one you have to win. They've fallen off the cliff. They've lost 6 out of 7. They're playing tonight at Cincinnati, so that's the front end of their 2-game swing. They'll come in here on Saturday.
They play right now. In fact, they're tipping off in 15 minutes, so we'll keep an eye on that game. This is one, though, I said the same thing about Kansas State, but it's even more true about Baylor. I mean, you guys, you start to dive into them, and you're like, oh, my gosh, how in the heck are you guys 1 for your last 7? There are some dudes on this team, including Cameron Carr, who's been one of the best in the Big 12 this season. That's a first-team All-Big 12 type of player. He's been fantastic. Yesufu, they have a freshman that can be outstanding and is really talented as well, just to name 2 of them. So that's going to be a team that, Greg, we've seen Baylor struggle in this building. They lost here as the number 1 team a few years ago. So hopefully that struggle continues for Baylor, Kyle, as you're right, as part of a long road trip here. But that's another team with a ton of athletic ability. And you talk about on the glass, West Virginia's ability to get on the glass, as it's done the last 5 or 6 games, is going to have to be paramount to get this Baylor team, which this is a program thing for them, Greg. They are always one of the elite offensive rebounding teams in the country. It's no different this year. They're top 40, so you're going to need everybody on the glass on this one.
There you go.
Yeah, their only win in the league is Oklahoma State, and that's been a couple of weeks ago. So they're, for whatever reason, they're really struggling. They're giving up a ton of points. So defensively, not very good.
Yeah, that's why. They're 24th nationally in offensive efficiency, so this team scores. So it's another team. I feel like I've said it every week for 7 straight games. They're going to want to run. They're going to want to push. Can you control the pace and slow it down like you did last night and get into a game that's a slugfest like it was? That's always advantage West Virginia when you can do that.
Mountaineer women on the road last night. They were on the back end. They had won at BYU on Saturday, played at Utah on Tuesday and got beat. And this was just one of those nights for them. They could never get the lead or get over the hump. And Utah defeats the WVU women 71-64. So that's their first road loss in conference play. And they're 15-6. And they split those 2 games on the road, again, winning at BYU and losing at Utah. So they'll be back home coming up. Mountaineer women getting beat last night.
Yeah, that's tough too. And then that's one of those long road trips. It's hard when you're out there and play both of those and have to try and get the road win. So they'll be back, they'll bounce back, and they're fine, but that's certainly a disappointing loss for Mark and company.
Yeah, I give Utah credit too. They shot like crazy. They I think they were 50% from 3. So
yeah, 10 of 18 from 3.
Yeah, so made a bunch of shots in your home building. That usually helps.
27 of 50 overall, 10 of 18 from 3. The Mountaineers were just 2 of 12 from 3, and it was another game. They forced 21 turnovers, but West Virginia turned it over a few too many times themselves, and that's been a little bit of a theme lately. 15 turnovers for West Virginia in that loss. All right, 304 Talk 304, that's the text line. We'll get to some texts, and we will revisit West Virginia, Kansas State a little bit later on the show. But again, J.J. Weatherholt, wanted to try to get him on before he heads to spring, and he's carved out a few minutes for us tonight. So we'll hear from him when we return on the CityNet statewide sports line. We're with you from the Health Plan Studios since 1979. The Health Plan is called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
The weekend's almost here, and are you looking for the perfect way to enjoy the water? Lou Wendell Marine Sales has you covered with Avalon pontoon boats. These luxurious high-performance pontoons offer smooth rides, spacious seating, and top-tier durability. Built with precision and style, Avalon pontoons deliver comfort and reliability season after season. Visit Lou Wendell Marine Sales today and experience the Avalon difference. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
New year, new truck. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Steig Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email steig-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Wednesday night, CityNet statewide sports line. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe. We're all in the studio, and we're going to talk baseball with one of the top prospects in all of professional baseball, former Mountaineer J.J. Weatherholt. ready to head to spring training with the Cardinals. JJ, good evening. Good to hear from you again.
Good evening. How are you?
We're doing well. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for carving out a little bit of time.
Thank you.
I'm interested in your off season, what this has been like. So roughly 600, 700 professional at bats now. In terms of your approach to hitting, how have you refined it as a professional? Has it changed? What's been the St. Louis organization input into it?
Yeah, I think, the org definitely trusts, a plan that I come up with myself, but they're obviously talking, depending upon the pitchers that day, on, pitches we should look for. But it's been pretty consistent with kind of how I hit in college and just trying to be on time for a fastball and adjust to the other stuff. So really at the professional level, you just have to be better and more disciplined at your approach, and that's really what I've been working towards.
So that leads me to ask, JJ, I mean, obviously you played at very high level of college baseball, but how different is the pro league for you and just for anybody?
Yeah, I would say, like AA, for an example, your Friday night, when I was a freshman and sophomore at Texas, Oklahoma, we would always use them as examples just because Texas is Texas. Your Friday night guy at Texas, your Saturday night guy at Texas, that's your typical AA starter. It's just that's the starter every day. So you play 6 days a week, so you're seeing that type of caliber pitching every single day. And the same with the bullpen and the closers. It's just everybody's consistently better, and the best in the college are at that level, and it's every single day. So there's no days off. Every guy's a dude. Every guy is a legit player. And it makes it tough sometimes as a hitter just because you got to bring your A game every day, but that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and the flip side is they have to face you, and you're a dude. You come every day with it. So,
exactly.
So tell us about that, though. I am interested. You really just picked up where you left off here. It wasn't like you're any different or there was a struggle period or an adjustment period. You just stepped right in and started hitting right away and have done it all the way up the levels to this point. What do you think's been the key to allow you to do that, to just pick up right how you hit here at WVU?
I think part of the thing there is just how good the competition was in college. It's the best of the best in the Big 12. So seeing that all the time just prepares you. But I think for me, just kind of my approach that I just talked about and just staying true to that, I was wavering a little bit from it early on my first year in pro ball, the short season. But last year, over the course of the season, through highs and the lows, anytime I needed to get back to what I do best, that's my thought, is just be on time for that heater. So it was an approach that I carried all of college, and just being able to refine it in pro ball is kind of what's kept me being able to transfer well.
So you're known for your approach, how you think the game, your relaxed nature in the batter's box. Has that changed at all now that you're up against professional pitchers every single night and, you're headed for a big league camp?
Shoot, when I faced Max Scherzer spring training last year, it was a little bit different. We talk about elevated heart rate. So you get some of that there when you face those guys, but at the end of the day, you just take so many reps and play so many games, it just kind of becomes like second nature, and you just have all your processes and routines. So when you get in that box, time slows down for a minute, and you're just competing.
So do the Cardinals keep you abreast of what their plans are for you, or do you just go out and compete and let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, I just go out and compete. They they communicate as they should. I don't think as an org they should be telling me every day where I stand. It's for me to go out and earn positions and play my game. So you kind of just put all those thoughts in the back of your head and just go out and do what you can, and you see what happens.
You mentioned all those at-bats there. And Kyle, what'd you say? 700 at-bats in professional baseball?
Yeah, in a season and a half, right?
It's amazing, JJ, how fast that adds up, right? For not being there very long, you just play and you play and you play. What's been the adjustment there just to the volume of games and the length of the season? Any difficulties or differences?
I think the length of time that we spend at the game and playing, or at the field and playing, it's a lot. 7 o'clock game, you might get to the field at 12. You don't get back to your place till 11. So it's a lot of time at the field and preparing for the games, and that just has to be very refined. And, you can't stay up one night because you feel like playing video games that night. It's like you got to be disciplined every day to just go to bed, wake up, get your meal in, and head to the field. So that's the biggest thing for me, is just making sure I'm not getting distracted or I'm not getting lazy, and I'm just taking care of my stuff, sleep, nutrition-wise, to just keep me fueled for the day.
Are you in Florida already? What's the schedule here?
I am in Florida, yeah. We got some stuff. I was here for most of the off-season, so I train at a complex that's down here, but our complex is starting to open back up with some workouts going on.
Did you make it all? I saw a recent article with Vic. He was here in Morgantown using the new biometrics facility. Did you take advantage of that at all?
Yeah, I did. I was able to get down there. I think I stopped down twice this off season. So I did one of the things of just getting in the lab and getting all that metric stuff done, and then the other time I was kind of just there training for a couple of days.
So what was your concentration in the off season? Was there an area or two that you felt you really needed to prove, and this is where I've got to get better?
I think defensively is a big thing for me. Just, prioritizing reps at all different positions. It's kind of new to me. I was just used to wherever I'm playing that year, that's where I got to work. So just bouncing around has been a lot. And then just hitting, really just always just refining the minor details and making sure my swing's in a good spot and I'm moving well. And really those two main things.
How about let's talk workouts and nutrition for a second. First of all, anything different, like any yoga mixed in, Pilates, anything like that? And then on the food side, what's the nutrition plan like? How you working that?
I will not lie. I do virtual reality boxing nonstop. So
there we go.
That's how I get my cardio in. Your boy's not a big fan of running, so
I love it.
I go out to the garage and get my work in that way. So it's a ton of fun, to be honest, but it kicks my butt. I'll be sweating a ton. So that, and then nutrition, honestly, biggest thing for me is just like cooking my meals. I know what's good at grocery stores and stuff that's healthy, so I stock my fridge pretty good and just make sure I'm cooking stuff myself, and that way I'm not eating anything that's too bad.
So you're just loading that headset on and going to town with the boxing thing, right?
Oh, all day.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Maybe an hour a day.
Oh, wow. You do an hour? Like straight, or are you breaking that up?
Not actually every day, but it just depends on how I'm feeling. Like if I feel like I didn't sweat enough at a workout, I'll go home and get right on it.
How about that? There we go. See, that's a good answer, JJ. I like that.
Let's talk defense. So most of your games professionally so far have been at shortstop, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with St. Louis, it's going to be second or third. So how do they, because they've got Mason Wynn, how do they handle that in terms of preparing for you? Do you have someone you're working with, or do you have plans to work with someone specifically in spring training on either of those two or both positions?
That is definitely all up to them. You have a little bit of choice control early on in spring training of where you want to work that day positionally, but if they want to nudge me in a certain direction, it's definitely going to be up to them to tell me to do so. We've got a lot of good, ex-big leaguers or just guys in our system that are, teaching ground balls and things like that. So that's not a problem. For me, like they told me last conversation, was just work everywhere. So that's what I do. And until they kind of tell me to hone in somewhere else, nothing will change.
So you mentioned facing Matt Scherzer, sort of caught your attention. Any others where you got a little starstruck as a kid from Mars, Pennsylvania, saying, oh my gosh, I'm in the same field with whomever?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Sale rehabbed against us in Memphis, so he started. I got to face him twice. That was pretty cool. Obviously, that, when you get to AAA, you're facing a rehab dude pretty much once a week. That's a big leaguer or whatever. So that's always really cool. But I'd say Chris Sale was pretty sweet.
How about your boys up here? I know you're keeping an eye on this program. How about what they turned around and put together last year? How proud are you of Steve Sabins and the crew? Oh, yeah, it's impressive. I'm always trying to keep in tune. I'm honestly getting kind of sad because I'm starting to not know people that are on the team anymore. Yeah. So I'm getting old, basically, is what I'm saying there. But yeah, I mean, I try to stay in tune as much as possible and just really just hoping that we could take the next step and get to Omaha. It'd be huge for the state and the school, and, just super excited for what they're doing there.
Teaming up with Victor Scott with the Cardinals, is that surreal at all, the fact that you were here with him and you watched him work? Has he helped you kind of make that transition of being a pro?
Shoot, I'll tell you, we took a little break. We're fishing, so me and Vic we're tearing up some ponds down here in Florida. But yeah, he's been a great influence with stuff off the field, just how to be a pro, and then of course just having a guy like that in the locker room who you spend a ton of time with your freshman year. And Vic, for me, when I was a freshman and he's a junior, so he's always kind of in that leadership role. So that's the guy I'm going to look to first to see what he's doing and how I can follow the way that he's going about his business.
So have you gotten that Florida blood yet where it's 50 degrees and you have to put on a parka? I mean, we're dealing with 0 here and where you're from. So
I'll tell you what, there's something different about Florida being 50. I start to shiver.
Getting soft down there. Come on, man.
I don't know what it is. I go back home, it's 30 degrees. I'm in a short and a T-shirt. My mom's screaming at me trying to throw a coat on me, but I get here, and it's anything below 60, I'm shivering.
Hey, let's talk analytics for a second. When you were here before, we had talked about that, and you said you use them, but you didn't necessarily want to overwhelm yourself with scouting reports on what everybody was doing. It was get up there, see the ball, hit the ball. What's your approach now to analytics? Using it any more, any less? How do you utilize it?
I would say relatively using it a little bit more, but I kind of still have the same approach. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to help, but they can definitely overfill your brain with stuff that you don't probably need to be focusing on. So you got to make sure that you know your system and the things that you like to look at and the things that you don't, and just stay consistent to it. So, like I said, you're not filling your brain up too much.
Well, again, I mean, you've had success at every level, so why mess with that, right? You do what you do well. What you're excellent at, that's what you try to do.
Yeah, I'm definitely on brand with that. There's a big wave, I would say, in the minor leagues is trying to make sure your players are prepared. So sometimes they can tend to bring up some problems before it's a problem, just trying to make sure that they can stop it in its tracks. And I think sometimes it's a little too overkill, and kind of might need to just start to address stuff when it comes up and not being too preemptive about things like that.
Mm-hmm. So I know you're just dealing with one inning at a time, but have you let your mind wander to when I get my first major league at bat, what that's going to be like?
I'm not going to lie. The only thing I think about is making sure my mom's there because she can't fly. So that is the extent of what I think there, but it would be a surreal moment.
So you need some warning, right? We got to have some warning to get the plans together.
Yeah, no, that's why I need to do my thing and make this team out of camp, because then we'll have a heads up. But we'll see how it goes.
Kyle, you're a big Cardinal fan. Yeah. JJ, would act like you're not here right now. They're crazy if he doesn't start the year on the roster.
Well, yeah,
crazy.
I mean, that's the expectation, I think. JJ, how has your St. Louis experience been? I mean, it's I know the winter warm-up, that's always a big deal. That was last week or the week before there. How has it been transitioning into that organization and the history and all that goes along with it?
It's been cool. I mean, the winter warm-up was my second time there, so still don't really have a lot of familiarity with the area and the city, but, I mean, the ballpark's cool. Ballpark Village is awesome, and, it's kind of funny because through the fan events and stuff, you drive 3 hours, outside of St. Louis in the middle of Missouri, and you get a bunch of fans, and telling people, I'm like, it's really like West Virginia. West Virginia, you go 5 hours south or wherever, and you got flags flying everywhere, so it's cool for me to kind of see it at a college level and now at a professional level. It's definitely a blessing.
Well, Jed can help. Jed played there for 3.5 years. He can help you out a little bit. Have you had any talks with him? Yeah, I talked to him here and there. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate helping the team out, but he's kind of been that guy to just let me know anything that I have for him, just whatever it is, send him a text, send him a call, whatever it is. So, I mean, I got the guy in my back pocket, which is a good guy to have. Yeah, absolutely. Well, this certainly has been great. We appreciate you carving out a few minutes. And when does spring training officially begin? February 14th. Okay, so you got a while, but you're down there working and getting to know the guys and getting to know the staff a little bit, right? Yes, sir. Very good. Well, JJ, we're looking forward to it. And, the Cardinals might as make them West Virginia's team. You got two former Mountaineers, hopefully, in the starting lineup this year, right, with you and Vic? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Got to get some more. Yeah, exactly. JJ, thanks for your time. We appreciate it, and we'll certainly be following close. Thanks, guys. Okay. JJ Weatherholt there in Florida, preparing for – he went to spring last year with him a little bit, and then split time between AA and AAA. And now you're right. He should Brad, be up, right? I mean, in all seriousness, he should be up this year. Make the club out of spring training. Right. There was talk about him coming up in September, but there was roster issues and that type of thing. But they trade Nolan Arenado to clear out third base. Brendan Donovan's still there, but there's all kinds of rumors that he may be moved. So if he moves, then I think the the anticipation is to JJ compete for the third base job. If Donovan's still there, then you got the second base job. So I think that's the anticipation going into spring.
Let's go.
And I'm sure that JJ's mom's already looked, but their first 4 or 5 games are at home in St. Louis. So in terms of the regular season, they open up on March the 28th. I think it is.
Yeah, it's early this year.
26. And that's always a big deal in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, the opening day, Clydesdales. You got it's an event.
Well, let's get on it. We'll get those Pirate tickets when he's in town there and go up and check him out. That's awesome. He has been, as we said in the interview, he is no different than he was when he's here.
Yeah.
Whatever level they've put him in at, he just goes in and rakes, and he's ready to go.
Yeah, the numbers were incredible. AA last year, he hit 300, 892 OPS, and then even better at AAA. 314 at AAA with an insane 978 OPS, and he stole a bunch of bases. So I hope, and you know, these guys are major league coaches and talent evaluators, but man, that smooth opposite field swing he always had here, that translates to the big leagues.
Good for him.
So I hope they don't mess with that. Very good. We'll take a break. We've got more to come. We'll check the text line, 304-TALK-304. And we'll be back on the CityNet statewide sports line coming up. When it comes to cybersecurity, CityNet has you covered. Their expert team monitors, detects, and protects your network 24/7. Keep your business secure with CityNet's Cyber Suite solution. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
We're expanding our ultra-fast fiber network across West Virginia, bringing reliable, lightning-fast internet to more homes every day. With plans up to 10 gig, you'll enjoy unbeatable speed for streaming, gaming, and working from home. And right now, new customers get 50% off any plan for their first year, now as low as $25 a month. No contracts, free installation, local support you can count on. Check availability today at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
The WVU Medicine Medical and Surgical Weight Loss Center offers a comprehensive surgical program to help you obtain a healthy weight and improve your quality of life. Our nationally recognized bariatrics program has a strong focus on pre-surgery education and long-term weight loss after surgery. We're here to help you every step of the way. Reserve your spot at the next free no-obligation information session by calling 304-293-1728.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
Sitting at Statewide Sportsline for this Wednesday, 304 Talk 304. That is the text line. We got the text coming in concerning the basketball game last night. Texter says, we were so fortunate to have survived 7-minute scoring droughts, one in the first half, one in the second half, and then after trailing by 4 points, Eagle staff really stepped up the last 3 minutes to pull out the win.
Took over. Yeah, it took over. And that's where you had to hang your hat on defense, right? Because as much as you were struggling in scoring droughts, you put them into some droughts as well. And that's what caused a little bit of, I'm sure that was hard to watch if you're an offensive fan and you were really having to grind that for a while. But yeah, I agree. That was the fact that you could stay close during those droughts. That's what gave you hope, that they weren't able to pull away from you.
Yeah, because you still played defense. And I mean, because you went from four up. And you went 7 minutes without a point, and you were only down 4 at the end of that. You could have been down 15 in a lot of instances, but you stayed close, and then all of a sudden Eagle staff started to really go. Honor Huff hit some shots too.
Yeah. Texter says, hey, guys, when Floyd posts need more movement and spacing, just need more consistency in scoring game to game other than 52 and 3. So, the third score.
The post up, and well, there's not time to do it tonight, but 3 Guys Before the Game comes out tomorrow. I'm going to do an extensive breakdown on that, and it was really, I'm going to highlight the B-low post up, but it's the same procedure have some pictures to back up what I'm talking about. But what you're looking for there is you're waiting for the defense to declare what it's doing. So you're trying to run clock down, milk clock like you do, and then you want the defense to declare. And in that 3, when B-low backed him down and then cross-court pass to Trey, the thing that made that go, guys, is Jasper cut baseline. So Trey's on the opposite wing and Jasper's baseline. Jasper cuts baseline, and the defender that's in the position gapping, trying to guard both of those guys, had to react to Jasper cutting back door, and it left Trey wide open. That's when B-low made the pass. So you're waiting for something to happen defensively. If nobody comes, B-low's going to finish over him, or Jasper's going to finish over him, or Trey's finishing over him if they don't make a move defensively. And as soon as they make their move, someone's coming and someone else is open. So that's why there's not a lot of movement, and actually the spacing has been very good on most of those back down post-ups.
Brad, and you've talked about this before, but I get the question about it, so I'll let you explain it. But West Virginia often goes deep into the shot clock, but that's just sort of part of what Ross Hodge wants to do, right?
It is. It's by design.
Yeah.
And part of that is Ross has made the decision, and rightfully so, when you're in this league, and this may change in 4 or 5 years, like Texas Tech, it's changed a little bit. Grant has gone, McCaslin, from a slow it down, use clock coach to up and down the floor because he's added guys that it fits in that system. When you're building a program and rebuilding a program as you are here at West Virginia, you're trying to follow the Houston blueprint of limiting possessions and guarding and taking some of those high-flying offensive teams in this league and trying to force them down into your pace, a lower-scoring game, which keeps you in the game, therefore gives you the chance to win. So, yeah, the slow nature of West Virginia trying to look for the best shot it can get, it's intentional, and it's supposed to look that way.
304 Talk 304. Texter says, I agree that Eagle staff's made 3 near the end of the game was huge. However, he had a fairly open look with that shot. Conversely, had it not have been for Honors made 3s throughout the game, most of which were heavily guarded, the Trayson made 3 at the end would not have been huge because we would have been down by 10 or more. Love them both. That's from Scott.
Yeah, there's no question. I've said many times, I continue to say it, Honor is the best tough shot maker I've ever seen in college basketball. And part of it, he has to, right? Just because of his size. Almost everything he gets is difficult. Given he's at the top of the scouting report, that adds a degree of difficulty. There were multiple possessions last night, guys, when they were just flat face guarding him. So it wasn't a true box and one, but it was in essence a box and one. And then the number of times that we just give him the ball with 5 on the clock and say, go make something happen, and he does a lot. It's a remarkable season he's having. He's a joy to watch. You talk about another guy you wish you had for another year. That's one of the most exciting and fun players to watch that have come through the long list of guys that have been fun to watch in this program. Honor's way up that list.
Hey, I'm going to give you another assignment. I gave you one last week in terms of finding out GPS numbers on how far he runs. I'm going to give you another one.
I didn't do that, did I?
I think that they track actual distance of shots, right? Because there was one that was another area code. So you need to – I know the NBA has that. I think college does too, right? I mean, couple of those were 35-footers.
Yeah, he knows no range.
Find me the true distance on some of those lengthy ones.
I forget your homework assignments, but I'll see what I can do.
Got to write them down.
Yeah, I'm going to send a note home to his mom.
Write them on your palm, the palm of your hand.
Yeah, I'm going to tell your girls to keep you on your homework.
Texter says, great interview with JJ. Thanks, but make no mistake, West Virginians will never be Cardinals fans. We are destined to suffer with either the Pirates or the Reds. So, yeah, I know. I just, what do you call that, trolling? I think I'm trolling people here. But, you got two former Mountaineers in the lineup.
There's not a person that dislikes the Cardinals more than me, I wouldn't think, in this state. But it is fun to watch those guys. I mean, there's a way to have both things come true. JJ can absolutely be blistering. Victor Scott can be blistering. And then the Cardinals lose. That's fine, too.
We were talking off the air. I think there's more former Mountaineers that have played for the Cardinals than any other team because you got these two guys. You've got Jed, who was in the recent past, who was there for 3.5 years. Jed had 2 incredible seasons playing third base.
Yeah.
He had 50 home runs over the course of 2 seasons. Here's trivia for you. Jed probably doesn't even know this. Jed Jerko is the only player in Cardinals franchise history to hit a home run starting at all 4 infield positions.
Really? That's a good one.
Yeah. All the decades of Cardinals, he's the only guy who hit a home run first base, second base, shortstop, third base. That's how versatile he was when he was. Anyway, you had Jed, you had Steve Klein, pitched there for a long time, and you had Mountaineer fans who are deep in the minutia. Remember Scott Siebel, who was on one of the regional teams from the early 90s. He was a Pittsburgh guy too, but he played a handful of games with the Cardinals. So there's been about 5 guys that have gone on from here. And Jeremy Cummings from South Charleston got AAA with the Cardinals. So there's been a bunch of guys from here that have gone on to play in that organization and play for the team. Texter says, wondering how many guys are returning for this baseball season from last year and who on this team could possibly be the next J.J. Weatherholt.
Well, there are every year in college baseball, there's a lot of rebuilding to do, and especially now within the portal era. But there are guys coming back. They're position players. Armani Guzman has a chance to be really good, and truthfully, the guy that Sabins is actually called possibly the future J.J. Weatherholt is Gavin Kelly.
Well, he called him Buster Posey on the show here last week.
Because he's going to catch.
He said, we got Buster Posey.
So, you start with those two. They aren't the only ones, but those two. There's no starting pitcher that was part of the weekend rotation who's back, but they got a lot of guys who pitched for them in some capacity. But certainly they're going to need their transfers and their new guys to be major factors, which they've been very successful with in the past.
Got another Division II transfer coming in to pitch. They've got a guy named Graveline from Ohio State who hit 19 home runs over the course of 2 years. So, but yeah, Guzman is the guy. What did he say? He's the fastest player in college baseball. He was in a good mood, man.
Yeah, he was.
He's given a lot of praise.
That was a good interview.
Well, listen, if Guzman can come anywhere close to what he did in the postseason last year, right? You saw the potential of that young man, no question.
304 Talk 304. We got more text to get to. Got to get the final break in, and we encourage you to stay tuned for High School Sportsline tonight. Here's the High School Sportsline lineup. Max Oliash from Wheeling Central is scheduled to join us off the top. Also, Sherry Helvey, the first-year girls basketball coach at James Monroe. That's a really interesting story. They're currently unanimous number 1 in AA in the coaches poll. Dave Marshall of Bridgeport, the defending AAA boys champs, Bridgeport, and Danny Bunch of Williamstown, also wrestling with University's Ken Mizell. University's won the last 2 state wrestling championships. So all that is coming up on High School Sportsline at 7:06. And basketball fans, if you want to see where your team ranks each week, check out the Tudor's Biscuit World Power Rankings at WVMetroNews.com. Click on the High School Sports tab, then the High School Basketball Rankings. The 2026 Metro News Power Rankings presented by Tudor's Biscuit World. More text coming up on the Sports Line.
The Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show returns to Milan Park in Morgantown March 7th and 8th. Over 100,000 square feet of campers and RVs, boats and ATVs, hunting and fishing supplies, guns, knives, and more. Limited vendor space is now available. To put your products and services in front of over 10,000 outdoor enthusiasts, visit WVOutdoorSportsShow.com. The 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. A WVRC Media event.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
Hey everybody, Tony Caridi here.
And Brad Howe. Tony, why the platform shoes?
Well, Brad, it's called Committing to the Groove. We're bringing back the retro vibes with Gomart.
Then hand me those oversized sunglasses because it's time to strut into deals on fuel, snacks, and more at your favorite Gomart.
All year, watch for Vinyl Value Days, Road to Rewards, and some far-out contests.
So go for good times.
Go for good vibes.
And go to Gomart.
Grab the Gomart app to find a location near you. Stay groovy, baby.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thora.
Coming to the Beckley Convention Center, Saturday 23rd and 24th. Who are the toughest men and women in the state of West Virginia? Watch Tough Man live on Metro News Television to find out. Featured fights, top 5 finishes, and event archives. Download Metro News Television on iPhone, iPad, Android, Roku, LG TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Find out more at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
Final segment on the CityNet statewide sports line. Again, high school sports line coming up at 7:06. Cincinnati leading Baylor 15-9 early on in that contest.
15-9, 10 minutes to go first half.
All right, halfway through the first half. Texter says, assuming that the guys can beat Baylor this weekend and get to 6 conference wins, can they find another 3 or 4 somewhere the rest of the way? That would put them around 500. You have to call that a success, considering from where they started. Maybe not enough to get a tourney bid, but something to hang their hats on at least.
Yep, just keep coming. Just keep stacking wins here if you can. And I guys, I do think we forget that the tumultuous nature of the last 4 years of this program are probably underrated. Because we've lived them, we've talked about it, but we don't dwell on it. We just kind of move on.
Yeah.
But the 4th coach in 4 years, this 3rd completely new roster in 3 years, it's remarkable. So the fact that you're sitting where you are in this conference and what you've been able to do with an entirely new staff and players, I think that's a job well done to this point with still a lot of basketball left, a lot of upside left.
Yeah, a lot more opportunities. Texter says, if I had a vote for MVP right now, it would be Eagle staff. Defense, offense, always in the right spot.
He's been outstanding. He's probably as good of all-around player as you have right now on this team. But, everybody's getting involved in this. Honors scoring is obviously the headliner. Dude had 8 rebounds last night. He's had a couple games with 7. Had 5 assists, which I thought was probably an under-discussed topic coming out of that game, Greg, because you start to get him in a position where he can do some more things other than shoot, and you got those guys flying at him, and now he puts it on the floor, because he is nearly impossible to contain off the dribble as well. Like, best of luck staying in front of him. So you come rushing at him, he blows by you, and now has the ability to pass and guys to finish. That only makes this offensive group better.
And I'm not going to take anything away from Trey or anybody else, but the attention that people give Honor, it changes the whole focus.
It does.
If you don't have him, then everybody else is having to fight that much harder.
Opens everything else up from driving lanes. I mean, that's why Chance Moore gets points, right? When you see him come in, because they're tugged up on Honor, and it gives him the chance to go. So, there's no doubt Honor makes that offense go.
Texter says, did I hear it right? Amir is shooting 48% from 3. He needs to shoot more.
He does.
It's a small sample size, right? Fewer than 20,
small
but
sample
still.
size. I think he's made 9 on the year. But, he's shooting 48% going into the game last night from 3.
304 Talk 304.
Brad, his ceiling as a shooter, because I still don't feel like I feel like he works better inside.
He does. That's his game.
So where will he eventually be as a shooter?
It's a good question. He'll get better. I mean, that's a great percentage. But, he doesn't take a lot. He's very selective in what he takes. He's another guy. He has been really hard. I've been impressed how difficult Big 12 guards, a difficult time Big 12 guards have had staying in front of him for a freshman, or really what should be a high school senior. His ability to get into the lane. So I think that's his upside when you're trying to get feet in the paint. Every offensive possession, if you can get your feet in the paint touches, things are going to go better. He's a guy that down the road will be able to do that at will and then can distribute from there. But I think he has a chance to be a very good shooter, as you're seeing now for a guy that hasn't had to shoot. I think that's the difference. Up to this point, at any level, he hasn't had to spend time around the outside jump shot because he can get to the basket whenever he wants.
One more baseball question here. Texter asks, hey guys, didn't David Carpenter play for the Cardinals? He was drafted by the Cardinals as a catcher. They're the ones that converted him in the minor leagues from catcher to pitcher about the same time they did it with Jason Mott, but he never reached the big leagues for the Cardinals. He was traded to Houston for Pedro Feliz, and then eventually got to the major leagues with Houston and pitched in the big leagues with Atlanta probably most prominently, and with Boston and a few other teams. But Carp was drafted by the Cardinals but never made it to the big leagues
Greg,
with the Cardinals.
There's probably only 2 people in the state that could have answered that question better
Carp.
than Wiggs. And Carpenter might not have been able to give you the detail there.
Yeah,
well done, Wiggs.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Again, we invite you to stay tuned for High School Sportsline coming up at 7:06, and we'll be back tomorrow. Brad, you'll take in this Baylor game here while I go do another talk show, and we'll talk in depth about Baylor.
We will, as Baylor's making a run, 15-15 now, tied.
Thanks for coming in, Greg. Good to see you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening and watching. Special thanks to J.J. Weatherholt as well for joining us tonight, and come on back tomorrow night for the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.